What's up, Rockstars? Welcome to my speed review for Heroes of Might and Magic 3, the board game by Archon Studio. That is going to be live on Kickstarter November 15th of 2022, so go ahead and check that out. This is based off the prototype. Thank you to my channel sponsor Into the AM. As a company that believes hard work and a great product is a proper way to conduct business, I am delighted to have them as part of the channel. They have some of the coolest graphic t-shirts around and an absolute best fit and feel that has continually exceeded my expectations. With new shirts arriving all the time and other products like boxers, hats, and even a monthly shirt club, I wholeheartedly recommend them to you. Check out the link in my description of this video for an exclusive 10% off everything they sell. Now, if you are new to my speed reviews, I do go pretty fast paced, a lot faster than I normally do, so this is going to get you a lot of information very quickly, but it is going to be quite dense. Feel free to use the timestamps down below. They do have descriptions of what I'm talking about, and I do still have a pros and cons list at the very end that you can check out to kind of summarize everything. So, without further ado, let's get started. The game actually has a great variety of play modes. There's cooperative, which I found quite lovely. There's campaign, which is neat, but it is only for solo play, so keep that in mind. And then there is competitive, which I actually had the most issue with, at least above 2 players. I'll explain that later. Now, in all of those modes, you're going to have different victory conditions, and those are actually all really nice, and they're not just go kill the other guy. You might have to explore certain locations before going to a final location, or own the most of a type of place, or something along those lines. Now, just like the video game, it's hard to decide what to focus on. There is so much to do. Get new cards, explore more, go fight, upgrade in town. There's just a ton that you want to do all at once, and it's kind of almost difficult in a good way to pick which one you're actually going to do on your turn. Also fantastic is the slow upgrades that you get between your deck building by getting new spells, new artifacts, new things like that, and of course upgrading your units and upgrading your town. So there's all these different things that are constantly increasing all the time, and then slowly but surely you become more powerful. Now, along with that, as a separate note, deck building is a lot of fun. It always is, to kind of see how you progress, and you can actually even remove cards out of the circulation if you need to, so you can really kind of grow as a spellcaster or might user or whatever you want to be. You can be that person by getting all these cool different equipments and stuff like that, and customizing your spells. If you see a good one you want, you can go and get that one. Now, it's not all great, however, not everything is roses and sunshine. The base game combat, I feel, is far too cramped. You don't get a lot of space because you can have up to 5 different units. Each person can have 5 different units. It's 10 different units on a very small board. There's just not a lot of room to kind of maneuver around with. And for me personally, I like a lot more oomph when it comes to the combat. Now, there is a expansion that they are offering that does look like it provides exactly what I want out of combat, but for the base game, it definitely, I don't think, was enough for me. Now, sadly, there's actually another issue with that. Combat is still kind of involved. It still takes a while, though they do have a limit of at least 1 round for neutral units. However, regardless, combat is only for 2 people, so if you're playing with 3 people, that other person needs to go make a sandwich while you guys fight it out. And I don't really care for that much straight downtime in something like this. But if it's 2-player, you're still golden, and of course there is cooperative and campaign. Now, it's not all bad though either. I mean, combat does take into account walls, gates, stuff like that, which I think is super cool, and you might recall those from the video game. I'm glad they made it even in this more simplified, streamlined combat mechanism they have here. You can still have that, and you can have your archers and flying units fly over and all that kind of fun stuff. Still happens. Now, I've talked about combat, but I haven't talked about the units, but I must say the faction-specific units are amazing. I love the fact that each faction gets its own group of 7 combatants or 7 units that you can upgrade in different ways and make better, and, you know, recruit ones, not others, or whatever you want to do, and just fighting different factions feels so different. And the prototype only got 3. I'm excited to actually try more. It's a lot of fun to do that. And there's actually something even better, and that's because you can recruit neutral units, which is awesome. In fact, you can recruit neutral units that are actually better than units you can even get. It's really cool to really customize your army in this way, and it feeds into that system of customizing your deck and customizing your town, customizing your equipment, customizing your units. All of that's there, and it's a lot of fun to do that. Now, when you do actually initiate combat, you have this combat board half that you have, and you have to match it with the half that you're fighting, whether it's another player or whether it's the neutral units. And that's just a little awkward, actually. It's so awkward to move those around that we actually just ended up setting that to a different side of the table, even though it wasn't near us, and just kept our cards over there and played the combat over on that side because it was much simpler just to kind of not, pick them up and move them around and kind of make things awkward. I have two final quick notes and then of course a summary. I wish equipment acted like the video game a little bit more. In the video game, you do equip it into all these different slots, and I really liked the RPG side of that. I'm a big RPG fan, and this doesn't really have that so much. It's all just kind of tied into the deck building. I understand not adding another element to this game, but at the same time, it is kind of a bummer that that's not there for me. And one quick note about the map, I actually really enjoyed how dense the map is, and I felt it was actually very true to the video game. In the video game, you can't go, it feels like 3 steps without finding a mine or an obelisk or another faction town or a dock or, whatever it might be. There's a ton of stuff that you're constantly seeing, and it's the same here. Okay, so you guys might be wondering, personally, what are you going to do? Well, I'll be honest, I'll be backing it. It's 170 euros on Kickstarter, and that gets you all the minis, stretch goals, and 3 expansions for more factions and better combat. Otherwise, the entry price is actually even cheaper than that. But for 170 bucks, getting all those expansions and all those minis and all the different more units that I want to try out and then more involved combat, yeah, sign me up. That's definitely going to be there. So that is linked down in the description below. And that's, again, my take. Of course, you can have your own opinion. Feel free to ask any questions you might have. And thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. Take care, guys. Bye.